Hey, I'm sure that you're tired of hearing me talk about my mental health, but I can't stop. So I'm just going to keep on fucking doing it. And you can hang out if you want to, and if you don't want to, then that's fair enough. And I'll see you shortly, hopefully, okay? Anyway, I'm going to do Get Ready With Me, a no-brand Get Ready With Me, so we can just, hang out and chit-chat. Let me zoom you in a little. I'm going to do... I don't know what. We'll just have to see what happens. Where's my little eye primer that I hate so much? Let me just quickly put on a little bit of that. Now I'm just taking a skin color shadow and I'm putting that over top of that primer along the brow bone. Just as a little base to like blend into. So here's what's going on. Not that you asked. I'm switching my medication, and by switching, I don't mean switching at all. I'm changing the dosage on my medication. Oh my God, sorry. I'm changing the dosage on my medication, and basically that just results in a lot of really, really shitty, not fun side effects. So just to give you a little example of some of the side effects, which literally every day I wake up and I'm like, what's it going to be today? Like there's always something like new happening that's also shitty. Some of my side effects are as follows. I have them written down. So food tastes like super bitter, or like flat. So it's just texture and like bitterness, and it's the worst. Aside from that, I have very low appetite, so we know there's something really wrong. I'm really sensitive to temperature, so like baths and stuff like that are like so hot on my skin, and I'm normally like, I'm taking showers in hellfire because like I fucking love like high temperature showers and shit like that, but I can't do that right now. The worst symptom is that I'm just super nauseous, basically from like 12 o'clock onwards. So I take my medication in the morning, I feel okay in the morning, and then I just am nauseous for literally the rest of the day until I go to bed. I'm super emotional. I'm sure we'll get a chance to witness that later. I have super fucking weird dreams. I'm so sorry. I can't stop swearing. I know there's people that are like, I'm a mom, please stop swearing. I'm so sorry. Just really weird, vivid dreams. And I'll have like multiple dreams a night. So I kind of like, I don't know, like I feel like I don't end up sleeping well because of them. Anyways, I have a hard time with memory, which is not me normally. I'm normally the memory queen, and it's much to everyone's chagrin because I remember everything. But right now is a really good time to slight me because I probably won't remember it. I have a hard time recalling words or forming sentences as easily. My body's really physically sore. So those are some of the fun things that are happening right now. We're just trying to move past it, you know? A lot of people had messaged me on Instagram asking if there was anything that brought about this particular like depressive time in my life. Your guess is as good as mine. Like I honestly have no, like I was traveling a lot, and sometimes that can be like hard on my mind, and I got sick both times that I was traveling, so that might not have helped either. I think it was just truly like a perfect storm, which resulted in this, and it's frustrating kind of because I feel like my depression is like taking entirely new forms and not in a good way. I feel like I don't know, like it's just so much more intense than it ever was, and I'm having a really not fun time with it, basically. That kind of brings me back to you guys. I know that everyone is just like, your job's not that hard. I fucking know, dude. That's the worst part. That is truly the worst part. I've talked about this before. I know that I don't have a difficult job physically. It doesn't seem to really matter. because I just sit down to film. My mind goes like totally blank. I can't form sentences the same way as I was talking about, which is really quite embarrassing for me. I don't like having those kind of like symptoms, because the thing about depression for so many people is that really the thing that's helping you get by is the fact that you can make it look like you don't have depression. And that sounds so sad, but it's just sort of, it's really, really hard to feel the need to explain yourself over and over again. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like people are asking me to explain myself. You kind of just can't rationalize when you're in like a really bad place. And so I feel like I need to explain myself constantly, and I get tired of that because if you don't deal with depression, it's kind of hard to understand, but a lot of the times you'll feel better, and then people will be like, oh wow, you're doing so much better, like you seem so much happier, like I can tell, like, and that almost puts this weird pressure on you continuing to be okay. And then you also don't want to like let people down or have people worry about you all the time and stuff like that, because the truth of the matter is, if you've been dealing with depression for a long time, you generally, I mean, I shouldn't generalize at all. I'll say for me, because I've had depression for so long, a lot of the times I know how to get a handle on it myself. So it's almost just easier to not tell people what's going on, so that you don't have to explain yourself and you don't have to have them worry, because like, you know that I know that I've sort of got it and it's going to be under control, and like I know it's going to be a matter of time before I'm kind of out of this state, and I can't remember where I was going with that. So there you go. That's the end of that conversation, I guess. When it comes to filming, again, I don't want to sit down and talk about nothing but depression. And I know there's like a handful of you that appreciate it and, you know, appreciate me being open and stuff like that. But, you know, there's a lot of people that they don't want to hear about it, and they don't understand, and they don't care to understand. And just also, like, you have to be, like, as a content creator on the internet, you kind of have to be careful about what sort of, like, ammunition you're giving people, you know? And so people speculating about my mental illness, is it really as bad as I'm saying it is? Like, different stuff like that, that shit's really fucking hard to ignore. Like, I don't care about people saying I do the same makeup all the time and stuff like that. Unfortunately, my darling, that's what performs on YouTube and Instagram, and it's the makeup that I like to do. So comments like that don't bother me that much. They still bother me, let's be real, but not that much. But it's just, it makes it hard to talk about something that's so personal, and like, it is really so real for me. I have to get a different eyeshadow, so hold on. So that is just a long and redundant way of me saying that I physically and like mentally already have a harder time filming when I'm going through a little phase. But because I'm so fucking nauseous and so overly emotional, I can't even describe to you, because the thing is, like, I also don't want to get on here and be talking to you guys when I'm in like the worst place ever, because it's so hard to explain, but a lot of the times you'll be like so devastated, having such a hard day, like full breakdown mode, and then the next day you'll be like, who's that? That wasn't me. That was not fucking me, dude. And like, it just, it's, yeah, I know that like, it's not embarrassing, and I would tell anybody else that deals with mental health issues that, that it's not embarrassing, but I can't help but feel that way. So I also don't want to jump on here just like trying to make myself film kind of thing and look back and be like, oh fuck, probably shouldn't have like gotten on camera while I was that upset, or, you know, whatever. Just sort of a catch-22. You'll see how my brain works in a depressive state, where it just kind of goes around and around and there's no way out of the shit loop, because my problem is taking time off from work doesn't really make me feel that much better. Like, taking off a couple days, sure. Taking off like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I feel like shit for it, and I want to get stuff done. You know, I miss it and stuff, and I feel like I have a healthier relationship with my YouTube than I've had in an incredibly long time, probably ever. So I don't want to let that die off. So this is quite a conundrum because I don't want to get on and film and talk about nothing but my mental health and annoy people and myself. I don't want people to be mean to me, basically. But I also don't want to sit around and fucking not work. So here's where we're at. This is the type of video that you're getting as a result of my overthinking all of those things. I'm still going to counseling. I go to counseling every week, which is, truly like such a blessing and a privilege. I can't imagine a world without my therapist now. And I used to be so fucking against it. Not against the idea of therapy in general, but therapy for me, because I've talked about this in a video before, but I really just wanted for years and years to be okay on my own, and I didn't want to have to rely on things like therapy or friends or boyfriends or family or whatever, or medication, because I basically just felt like if I get hooked on these things and that's what makes me better, and I suddenly don't have access to those things anymore, I'm never going to be okay. So I just felt like I needed to find my own way out of the woods. Spoiler alert, never did. But that was my mind and the path that I was planning on taking at that time, because it just made perfect sense to me to not get help at all. This is kind of one of those things that just adds to making things really difficult for yourself, because, man, mental illnesses have a very incredibly loud voice. It's amazing what they're able to accomplish and convince you of. It's hard to look back at videos that I filmed while I wasn't feeling good. Again, it's like, that isn't you. So sometimes I watch those videos when I'm in like a good spot, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Like, this is not how I feel at all anymore. That thing that bothers me so much that I was saying like was really hard to move past is like literally not a factor anymore. And it's so odd, because when you're in a good spot, you can so easily look back and be like, wow, like that was clearly fucking depression talking, and it wasn't actually accurate at all. And you want to remind yourself of that when you are back in a low place, and you try to remind yourself of that, but it doesn't work at all. It's truly a wild ride, because I do invest a lot of time and money and effort into, trying to help myself get better. This is catastrophizing, but I feel like that all goes out the window when I need it the most. Like, the best way to explain it is with my other hand, because I'm curling my eyelash now. Here's everyone else. People that are like healthy in their mind. Here's me normally off screen. Okay? Usually medication and therapy and stuff like that kind of brings me to like, a nice halfway point. And with that halfway point, I'm able to do things that I know help to kind of like, inch me a little closer to the top of Mount Everest with y'all. However, when I'm in a depressive state, down here off the screen, you can't see it, I literally cannot bring myself to do any of those things that help me. So I just, I lay, and I'm pretty sick of it. It's pretty fucking boring, if I'm honest. So yeah, I just wish that I had more of a handle on this than I do. I wish that I could control it a little better. Any of you that may think that I like lean on my depression for any kind of reason, I fucking wish that were the case. Like, truly. I wish that was it, because even if I was just being a bullshitter, that would mean that I was still going about the rest of my day feeling fine, and I'm not. So these moments are when I feel like I'm bullshitting, because I want to not cry. I want to be funny for you guys. I want to be entertaining. I want to teach you stuff. I want to make your days better. And so when I feel like I can't do that to the best of my ability, I just feel really shitty about it. And not because I feel like, you know, I owe anyone anything. It's just like, that's my whole thing that I'm doing here. Like, that's what I'm trying to accomplish with my job. And it just fucking sucks when I feel like I can't do that. So that is that. Just a real quick shout out, first of all, to my family, Matt, Alyssa, Mom, Dad. I'm like so lucky that, oh, fuck, get it together, Sam. Oh God, I'm so lucky that I have a family that really tries to understand what I'm going through, and even when they can't understand, they're just there for me. Fuck's sake. I can't even describe to you. I just feel so grateful. It just makes me happy. Anyway, moving on from that, I just get frustrated because I want to do better with like taking care of myself and stuff. And like, trust me, I know what needs to be done. It just, again, like, it's nonsensical. Depression, truly. I just want to be okay on my own, and I can't do that. So the other day, I was talking to Alyssa because I have a really, really hard time. I have a hard time cooking at home anyways, because I just prioritize other things, basically. But when I'm not feeling good, it is literally, that seems like showering is like, wow, that's gonna be a task for me. Cooking is like off the charts. Like, that's like, what the fuck? Like, who does this? Like, who's able to do that for themselves? Can't relate. So the result of that is that I eat very poorly. And as you can imagine, it really doesn't seem to help all of my other shitty symptoms. Shockingly, it's so odd that fries doesn't do the trick. So anyways, I was talking to Alyssa about just how it's hard to cook, and I'm just like getting frustrated because I want to be able to like eat some food that's going to like be nutritious and help me a little bit. And then Alyssa was, she was like, well, if I cooked for you, like, would you eat it? And I was like, yes. And then she was like, well, I'd be honored. And then I just sobbed, and then we just like held each other. We were in a hot tub, and then we just held each other, and I just cried in her arms. It's just so, oh God, it's really, really, this is gonna sound ridiculously overdramatic, but in my worst moments, it feels like dehumanizing to ask for help and to accept help even. The thing about getting help, which is obviously the right move and the healthy move, and you should, but it's sort of like you have to admit to yourself that those problems are like real problems and they're not going away. And you don't have a handle on them, in fact. And surprisingly, going to yoga once a month is really not taking care of it. So I don't know, it's just it's a scary thing in a way to admit how much help you need sometimes. So anyways, that's where we're at with a mental health update. The side effects from the medication are supposed to last like 6 weeks. at the longest time. Hopefully, I'm not an anomaly in that way. So we're on week 1. Fucking kill me. 5 more weeks, give take, okay? Yeah, I'm just really hoping that that helps. And it's not that my medication was like useless before. I just noticed that I kind of was like slipping back into like, because again, it's like, okay, so like medication like brings me to that level point where I can do more to feel better. So I just noticed that like that feeling level, feeling like I could do a little bit more for myself than normal, was just kind of like dwindling over time. So that's why I'm needing to mess around with my medication a little bit. And the thing that is really getting me with my medication is that this is the thing I'm taking to make myself feel better. And it's just so much worse than normal. The audio was turned off for that whole bit. Anyways, the thing that's tricky about that is that you are, I keep saying you, you guys are like, I'm fine, okay bitch, this is just you, this is a you thing. It's a rough go knowing that I have to like go through this turmoil, just going through it being worse before it gets better to actually get better. Like that's a hard pill to swallow, literally and figuratively. What else is going on? Oh yeah, nothing, because I've been doing nothing. I think I've said it before on YouTube, but I'm gonna say it once more, just to make sure I'm really driving the point home. I'm not really this type of bitch, but I don't think you can convince me that Mercury retrograde isn't real. Like, every time that things are like unbearably shitty, like so much crap is just like happening all at once, and like just like bad news after bad news after bad news. And every time that happens, I'm like, I just wonder, I'm just gonna check if Mercury is fucking around, and every single time it's fucking Mercury retrograde. I don't know, maybe it's all in my mind, which is a real possibility. I'm pretty dead set on that being the cause of all my issues. So is it really the medication or is it Mercury? We'll never know. Anyways, that was a real rant and a half about things that I've mentioned many times on my channel. Anyways, guys, that's it. I would have put lipstick on, but like, let's just be honest, I'm gonna put lip balm on and then cry. So it's really not necessary. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me complain at my computer. And this isn't a computer, it's a camera. Okay, anyways, thanks so much. See you guys later. Peace out.